Hey Saints Nation, AJ Fox here with you for another episode of Maryville Cooks. Today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite appetizers to both bring and enjoy at any sort of occasion. And the name really says it all. They're bacon wrapped brown sugar little Smokies. So those are pretty much your ingredients. You've got your bacon, your brown sugar, and your little Smokies. There's not an exact science to this, and usually you'll have a little bit left over each one. But basically it's about a pound of bacon. I'm using a pretty thick cut bacon today, so I had about 1.5 pounds, about a package of little Smokies, and then roughly a pound of brown sugar. Now with the brown sugar, fresh brown sugar is great because it's a lot more granular, it's a lot easier to work with. I've had some brown sugar that was in the cabinet, so this is a little bit tougher, and what you want to do is you'll just want to kind of knead it up a little bit and get it back to as granular as you can before you go. To walk you through the setup here, I'm a person that likes to clean up very quick and easy, so I've got some wax paper helping me protect the countertop because that brown sugar will get everywhere. I have put my little Smokies from the package into a bowl just so they're a little bit easier to grab out as you go along. And I've done the same for my toothpicks as well. This both helps keep the toothpicks upright so they're a little easier to grab. And since your hands are going to be covered in both sugar and raw meat, you'll want to throw away any extra toothpicks you have left over. So this way you're not throwing away the entire box. Just put some in there, and if you need some more, add as you go. Now generally what you're going to start with is you're going to start by slicing your bacon. You want to make sure that your bacon can roll completely around one of the little Smokies. Generally you can cut your bacon into thirds, and as your bacon warms up a little bit, not quite to room temperature, but as your bacon warms up a little bit, it'll get a little bit stretchier, and that way it'll be a little more forgiving if you happen to go short. But generally if you cut your bacon strip into thirds, you'll be in perfect shape. And I'm going to demonstrate how you roll it around just so you can see, and then we'll actually make one here. So again, you're just going to take your little Smoky, wrap it right around in bacon, and you're going to end up overlapping as much as you can. You'll usually end up with just a little bit of overlap, and that's where you'll want to put the toothpick right through. Now, how you load these up with brown sugar is the important part. So step one, we're slicing our bacon, we've got our Smokies, we've got our toothpicks, we're ready to go. So we're going to take our slice of bacon, put it into our brown sugar again, try to get that as granular as you can. My goal in this, and you can do this to your taste, but my goal is to get as much brown sugar onto this bacon as I can, so when it caramelizes in the oven, you get that nice sweet and savory texture together. So I am going to pack it. I actually like to get my bacon, I'm both pushing it down on the bacon that's on the brown sugar that's underneath the bacon, as well as packing some on top. And usually when I finish, I kind of lose my piece of bacon in the brown sugar. I really like that because this is the inside. I'm going to take one of my little Smokies, place it right here on my bacon. I'm going to roll it right up, grab the other piece of bacon right there, and toothpick right through. So at this point you've done, but I usually like to both add a little bit more of brown sugar on the top before I stick it onto my tray. As you can see, I've been at this a little while. This is a recipe that's both going to need some time to bake in the oven, to get that bacon nice and crispy, as well as it's going to be a labor of love. These are amazing and they're so well worth it, but this is not something you're going to be able to put together 15 minutes before the party. You're definitely going to spend some time creating and rolling these and then getting them in the oven. I've already gotten a pretty good head start, so I'm going to finish the last couple ones here and then show you how it ends up. So I'm finishing up my last one here. Get it toothpicked and placed on my tray. Now with this brown sugar, I find it great to put it in a pie plate because it gives me just a little bit of depth that it's not going everywhere. But you won't be able to get all of the brown sugar in here, so it's good to have an assistant around with clean hands because you'll need probably to get a couple of extra dumps of brown sugar as well as maybe some toothpicks if you haven't counted exactly correct. So now we've got all of our Smokies on our tray here. We also have some brown sugar left over. Since this brown sugar has touched raw bacon, we're gonna have to throw it away anyway. So what I'll like to do is just go ahead and add it to the tops and all around. Try to get as much brown sugar on there as I can. You can see as you go along, the brown sugar will really start to kind of fold into the bacon and create almost like a syrup at the bottom on the ones that you've done a little bit earlier. The other thing here, I have a cookie sheet that is lined with aluminum foil, and I have boated that foil, just basically curled up the edges and sealed at the corners, because as you can already see, we're starting to get some of that kind of syrupy liquid as the brown sugar interacts with the bacon. As this cooks down and caramelizes, in addition to the bacon grease, it will create an incredibly sticky substance that you want to try to contain as much as you can, and again, make that cleanup as easy as possible. These are ready to go, so we're going to put them in the oven at 350 degrees. It'll depend on the thickness of your bacon and the kind of intricacies of your oven about how long they'll take. So you want to check them, but you want to give them at least a good 25 to 30 minutes and check them after that. So we've just gotten our bacon wrapped brown sugar Smokies out of the oven, and they smell delicious. At this point, all the members of your family, your neighbors, and the stray animals in the area are probably banging down your door to get one, but you'll want to make sure you give them a chance to cool on the tray, as well as maybe move them to a plate and let them cool just a little bit longer there. Ours ended up staying in the oven a little bit longer because of that thick cut of bacon that we used. These ended up staying in the oven for about 50 minutes on 350 degrees. You'll want to vary your cooking times based on your bacon, but give them a solid 25 to 30 minutes to start, and then check them about every 5 minutes from there. You'll want to make sure the bacon's cooked all the way through, but then you can get it to your desired level of crispiness. Beyond this step, all you're going to have is the trouble of not eating them all before you get where you're going or before all your guests arrive. But until then, and until next time, enjoy!